Tears behind the tiara, what Princess Leonor secretly endured during her military training. A princess in uniform, cameras flashing, a nation proud. But behind that perfect salute, were tears no one saw. Because while the world saw Spain's future queen, Leonor was fighting a battle no crown could shield her from. When Princess Leonor, heir to the Spanish throne, stepped into the harsh world of military training, it wasn't just a duty, it was a test of identity. For the first time, she wasn't the royal icon millions adored. She was Cadet Leonor, no titles, no luxuries, no exceptions. At dawn, her mornings began with the sound of a trumpet, echoing across the academy's cold stone walls. The same alarm that woke every soldier, every morning. She rose from her narrow bed, tucked her blanket with precision, and faced a day designed to break the body and forge the mind. For the world, it was a proud display, the princess walking in step, dressed in full combat gear, her expression calm and controlled. But within those moments, few knew the truth, how deep the adjustment ran. Leonor's upbringing had been one of discipline and grace. Every move analyzed, every smile judged, every word measured. Yet, nothing could prepare her for the relentless pace of military life. The freezing mornings, the weight of the rifle, the ache of running uphill with 50 pounds on her back. And yet, what broke her wasn't the physical exhaustion, it was the loneliness. Inside the academy, no one treated her like a royal. She was forbidden to receive special treatment. Orders were barked at her just as harshly as anyone else. For the first time in her life, people weren't bowing. They were shouting, correcting, commanding. Some recruits whispered behind her back. Others watched, waiting for the moment the princess would falter. But she didn't. She clenched her jaw. She fought through the fatigue. She refused to let the crown define her strength. Yet when night fell, away from the cameras, away from the eyes of her superiors, Leonor allowed herself to feel it, the isolation, the pressure, the weight of expectation pressing against her chest. She missed home, her family, her sister Sophia's laughter echoing through Zarzuela Palace, her mother, Queen Letitia's soft encouragement, her father's silent pride. Letters from home were her anchor. Short, handwritten notes slipped through official channels. Her mother's handwriting, elegant, careful, full of unspoken emotion, reminded her of who she was beneath the uniform. But there were moments when even those letters couldn't erase the pain. When her hands blistered from rifle drills. When her feet bled from long marches. When the tears fell silently on her pillow, hidden, unrecorded, unacknowledged. One night, during a particularly brutal week of training, Leonor's platoon was ordered to navigate a steep terrain under cold rain. The mud was thick. Visibility, zero. She slipped. Fell. A gash tore through her knee. The officer yelled at her to get up. No pity. No pause. She rose, blood mixing with dirt, and kept marching. That night, as she cleaned her wound alone, a fellow cadet whispered, "You're not what I expected." Leonor looked up, her face streaked with fatigue, and replied quietly, "Neither am I." That moment changed everything. Slowly, her fellow cadets began to see her not as the princess, but as one of them. They watched her push harder, never use her status, never complain. She earned their respect the hard way, through pain, silence, and perseverance. Meanwhile, outside the academy walls, Spain was watching closely. Every public appearance analyzed, every smile dissected. When she stood at the National Day Parade, eyes forward, chin high, few realized the hidden bruises beneath her sleeves, the evidence of a training that demanded everything. Queen Letizia, often called the Iron Queen of Spain, visited quietly. Away from the cameras, she saw her daughter's tired eyes, the tension in her posture, the subtle tremble in her hands. She wanted to tell her to stop, to rest, but she didn't. Instead, she whispered the words that would define Leonor's transformation, "You're not training to be perfect. You're training to be strong." And strong she became. Weeks turned into months. Her once soft hands grew calloused. Her posture straightened, her gaze sharpened. She became a leader, quiet, composed, resilient. Her instructors began to notice the shift. She didn't demand authority, she earned it. But strength comes with sacrifice. Leonor missed birthdays, family moments, Sophia's laughter echoing in the palace halls without her. She missed freedom. The simple joy of walking through Madrid without security, without eyes watching every step. Her youth, once wrapped in royal comfort, was now forged in discipline and duty. Inside her diary, sources say she wrote one line repeatedly: duty before self. Spain before me. Yet there were darker days. Times when she questioned it all. Who she was serving. Why she was chosen. Why a young girl had to bear the weight of a crown before she was even a woman. During one training exercise in the Pyrenees, the weather turned brutal. Snow fell heavily, visibility gone. Her team got separated. For hours, they navigated through freezing wind and blinding light. Some broke down, but Leonor kept going. Later, when they reunited, her instructor said quietly, "You led like a soldier, not a princess." It was the first time she believed she could be both. When the first year ended, the world saw a different Leonor. Gone was the shy teenager hidden behind her mother's careful gaze. In her place stood a young woman of poise, command, and empathy. The transformation wasn't cosmetic, it was spiritual. Her return to public life stunned Spain. The press called her the Steel Princess. Citizens who once doubted her now praised her discipline, her humility, her strength. Yet those closest to her noticed something else, a quiet sadness in her eyes. Because behind the uniform, behind the medal pinned to her chest, was a girl who had faced exhaustion, fear, and doubt, and learned to carry them with grace. When she spoke publicly about her training, her words were simple: "It taught me who I am. And who I want to be for Spain." But those who knew her best, her family, her instructors, her closest aides, knew what wasn't said. The tears she shed alone. The nights she questioned everything. The silent war between duty and self. And yet, it was in those moments of breaking that she became unbreakable. In the eyes of her people, Princess Leonor's military training was a symbol of honor. But for her, it was a quiet awakening, a realization that royalty means service, not privilege. That the true weight of a crown isn't in its gold, but in the strength it demands. Her transformation is more than a chapter in Spain's royal history, it's the beginning of a new era. A monarch forged not by comfort, but by sacrifice. Not by title, but by endurance. And when future generations look back at the making of Queen Leonor, they'll remember not the glittering events or the royal portraits, but the quiet nights, the aching muscles, and the tears behind the tiara. Because that's where the real crown was earned. When you see her now, standing tall in her military blues, eyes steady, voice calm, remember this: every step she takes is built on pain endured, lessons learned, and courage proven. She isn't just Spain's future queen. She's Spain's soldier, Spain's daughter, the living symbol of resilience. And perhaps that's what true royalty means, not being above the people, but standing with them. The tiara may glitter under the palace lights, but behind it, there are stories of grit, sacrifice, and silent tears that no camera ever captured. That's the truth behind Princess Leonor's transformation. The tears behind the tiara. The making of a queen.